Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a totally fascinating paradigm shift in artificial intelligence, straight from Anthropic researchers Barry Zhang and Mahesh Murug. If you've been tracking the AI space lately, you know we've kind of hit a wall when it comes to getting AI to actually do our work for us, but we're going to unpack a groundbreaking solution that challenges the very foundation of how we design AI. Their core thesis, it's simple, but man, is it revolutionary. Stop trying to build all-encompassing agents and start building skills instead. It's a massive pivot, and understanding it is absolutely crucial for anyone looking at the future of tech.
Just think about the number 1,268,538 for a second. That staggering figure represents the views their highly technical December 2025 presentation racked up on the Tech Horizon channel with Anand Vemula. Over 1 million people tuning into a dense, architectural discussion within days of it dropping. That really signals just how much attention this new thesis is commanding in the industry right now. It clearly struck a nerve because it directly addresses the exact frustration developers, enterprises, and everyday users are feeling as they try to actually implement AI into their daily workflows.
Section 1. The AI Agent Problem. Why Intelligence Isn't Enough.
Over the past year or so, we've seen some truly explosive advancements in raw model intelligence, right? The foundational models are just absolute powerhouses of reasoning and language. And alongside that, there's been a massive convergence on AI agent scaffolding, the coding frameworks we use to try and make these models take independent action. Yet, these agents consistently stumble when we assign them actual real-world work. They can write a beautiful sonnet in a couple of seconds, but ask them to execute a multi-step domain-specific workflow like reconciling a complex tax document, and they just freeze up, loop indefinitely, or completely hallucinate.
So the crucial point here is that building a smart agent right now is kind of like creating this brilliant, incredibly strong hero who shows up to an intense battle with absolutely zero weapons and no tactical training. I mean, they have the raw potential and the underlying intelligence, sure, but they simply lack the deep domain expertise and the procedural knowledge to get the job done in the trenches. It turns out intelligence alone just isn't enough to execute specialized labor.
This brings us to Section 2. What are AI skills? The paradigm shift. The shift here is pretty stark. Currently, if we want an AI to do legal research, we try to build this massive monolithic legal agent. If we want it to code, we build a coding agent. Honestly, it's exhausting and totally inflexible. Instead, Zhang and Murag argue we need to pivot entirely to building modular skills. We've got to move away from those rigid monoliths and towards dynamic expertise that is infinitely adaptable.
So let's define exactly what a skill actually is, according to Zhang and Murag. It's a minimal form factor for packaging procedural knowledge that AI agents can dynamically load. You'll really want to pay close attention to those words. It is not a new digital brain. No, it's a highly targeted, easily loadable package of how-to instructions. It basically represents the exact sequence of actions needed to accomplish a very specific task in a specific environment, ready to be downloaded into the agent's working memory the absolute second it's needed. To make this a bit more accessible, think of skills like specialized tools in a master craftsman's toolbox. Their core thesis states, equipping agents for real-world work means building reusable expertise. Think about it. Instead of spending months building a brand new, highly specialized robot for every single job, like one robot exclusively designed to hammer, another exclusively to saw, you build one incredibly smart generalized robot and you just hand it the right tool when needed. It's efficient, it's elegant, and most importantly, it scales.
Moving right along to Section 3, Portability and Composability. The mechanics.
How does this toolbox approach actually change software architecture? Well, the true power of a skill lies in its core attributes, specifically portability and composability. Because they're dynamically loaded on demand, the agent's processing remains super light and focused. But the real magic here is composability. An agent can grab a web scraping skill in one hand and a financial modeling skill in the other, combining them to execute a really complex market research task. This lets one single baseline agent effortlessly mix and match capabilities across totally different domains on the fly, seamlessly chaining together distinct packages of procedural knowledge. It's a real game changer.
Which leads us to Section 4. Agents writing their skills, the visionary future.
It's one thing for human developers to code these specialized tools, but what happens when this whole ecosystem matures? The visionary future Zhang and Murag outline goes way beyond human engineering. This evolutionary path shows the ultimate endgame. Right now, in Step 1, developers are building foundational skills. In Step 2, agents are learning to dynamically load them. Step 3 is where network effects take hold. As the library of available tools gets massive, the utility of the agents absolutely skyrockets. But Step 4? That's where the paradigm totally shifts. As those network effects accelerate, we'll transition from developers building foundational skills to AI agents learning from their own execution errors and successes, ultimately writing their own specialized skills from experience. So if an agent figures out a highly efficient way to process a complex dataset, it just packages that newly discovered procedural knowledge into a brand new skill, instantly making that specialized expertise available to the entire network. Incredible, right?
I'll leave you with this final thought and a question to ponder. How will your industry change in a world where software writes its own domain expertise? Because understanding this explainer means realizing we aren't just improving software anymore. We are literally on the brink of an era where the barriers to specialized expertise might vanish entirely. If an AI can learn a complex workflow, package it into a dynamic skill, and instantly share that procedural knowledge across the globe, the very definition of expert work is about to be completely rewritten. Thanks so much for joining me, and definitely keep your eyes on this incredible space.